Hi everyone, I'm Shelly from There's No Place Like Home at redheadmom8.wordpress.com. Today I wanted to share with you how unit studies saved our homeschool. You know, being a mom of many can be stressful. Being a homeschooling mom of many, just kind of adds double the fun. And when I first started out homeschooling, and when I know a lot of other people start out homeschooling, they do the same thing. I was kind of looking at school as being something that had to be done the way that school does it. I tried to teach, at the time when we started homeschooling, I had 4 school-age kids. So I was trying to teach them all of their subjects separately, you know, like science, social studies, language arts, math. And I was also teaching separate grade levels. So they weren't really doing anything together. Maybe art they would do together or music, but all of the other subjects they each did separately in their own separate textbooks. And then I had my oldest son who was in high school. And I found it really, really difficult to be jumping from one child to another. And that is literally what our homeschool day felt like. I was jumping from one child to another, doing completely different things. And it really gave us long homeschooling days. It gave me a lot of stress. And there were times that we might have spent 6 hours homeschooling that day and didn't even get all of our stuff done because I had been too busy multitasking between the kids that we just weren't able to cover it. So then what would we do? We would do the school on the weekends. It was really, really bad. I'm going to admit our first 2 years of homeschooling were pretty bad. So after those 2 years, we burned out, which I talked about in a few videos now, but we burned out. I sent my kids back to public school for 2 years. And then after a while, after those 2 years, I really wanted them back home with me. So then I took them back out and we've been back home all together. Well, we've been homeschooling 10 years, but since our burnout, it's been 8 years. And the one thing that has actually saved us has been unit studies. Unit studies completely take away the necessity of teaching all of those subjects separately. Unit studies take away the necessity of textbooks. They take away the necessity of worrying about grade levels, because when it comes down to it, when you've got several kids that you are trying to teach at once, that is probably the hardest thing, is trying to shuffle everybody when they're all doing different things and they're all at different levels. So what unit studies are, they are cross-curricular. It is a curriculum that it covers all of the subject areas. So rather than worrying about doing an assignment in history and then doing another assignment in science and then doing another assignment in math, what unit studies do is they take a given topic, for example, maybe the Civil War, and it is a deep study of that one topic. And in that deep study, you will notice that all of the subject areas are covered, because if you look at real life, all the subject areas are covered in our real life. We don't go about our day separating our lives based on what subjects we're covering. All of these subject areas are really arbitrary if you think about it. It's just a way that they use to teach in school. But in later life, and when you're actually out living in the real world, subject areas, no one really thinks about it other than when it has to do with school. So what unit studies do is it makes learning a more holistic activity. It makes it more about teaching how everything is related and how you can pull things from different areas and still get those academic requirements for your state covered by doing a unit study. Now, besides taking away the need to use textbooks, it also takes away the need to teach your kids separately just because they're different ages. Because most unit studies, actually I've never seen a unit study that was just for one special grade. Unit studies are multi-level. They are for kids of different ages. So you can teach kids who are kindergarten through even 6th grade sometimes together. Will their activities be exactly the same? No, of course not. But they are learning about the same things, and it becomes so much easier to just help them work together, but more on their own levels. And that is something that really has helped us. Now, if you've seen my other videos, I have 8 kids homeschooling this year. So I have 3 separate groups. I have my littles, middles, and teens. And typically what we do is actually no, I only have 2 littles this year. My 2 littles will usually do a unit study together, or some kind of maybe Beautiful Feet books work together. And then my middles, I have 4 of them in grades 5th, 6th, and 7th. Did I get everyone? Oh, and 3rd. I was wondering where the 4th one was. And then my 3rd grader, they will do a unit study together. And then my high schoolers pretty much work independently. But if you look at my middles, for example, I've got them spanning from 3rd through 7th grade. And these kids are learning together. And not only does it make it easier for me as a homeschool mom trying to juggle everything, but it just brings the family together because they're doing all of these activities together. It really creates a special sort of bonding. Now, when it comes down to it, the only thing that you really have to worry about teaching separately when you are a unit study family is the 3 R's. Because yes, reading and math they're pretty important that you do teach them incrementally. And yes, the levels in that case are important because it's kind of a step-by-step process in learning those things. So with unit studies, really the only thing that you actually have to spend an amount of time doing individually with your kids are those 3 R's. Everything else, all of those other subject areas like science and history and social studies and art and music and health and safety and character and life skills, all of those things can now be taught together, and you don't have to just do unrelated things out of a textbook. All of these things are being taught at the same time, and they are covering all of the subject areas. Now, I believe that I do have another video that I made that is more about what unit studies are, and I will leave a description I will leave a link in the description box below. I'm pretty sure that I did a video about that, so I will check for that. But anyway, yes, I cannot even describe to you just the weight that is lifted off of your chest when you realize as a homeschool parent of several kids that you don't have to do it separately at all. You don't have to do separate subjects. You can all, as a family, do family schooling. That's a new word that I hear a lot now, is family schooling. And that's really what unit studies are. And it cuts so much time, it cuts so much stress. And to be honest, the learning that the kids are doing is more of a deep learning because they are learning deeply about a specific subject rather than just getting snippets of it out of a textbook. So that is honestly how unit studies have helped our family. It has just helped me to breathe again and to not take 6 hours a day doing school where we really weren't getting anything done. So anyway, that's all that I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave one down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you like my work, I encourage you to check out my Patreon page and see what rewards I have for you there. And I also want to wish all of my American friends to have a happy Thanksgiving.